It seemed that not only my mother, but also camp staff and club staff knew it was better for me to stay off the streets of the South Side and stay at camp. Every session, on Monday morning, I would get on the bus, and every Friday I would go home off the bus. But every session for those 3 years, I was at camp. I was a camper. The camp counselors and full-time staff at the camp even token me with my own camp counselor name. They called me Little Redwood. And from that day forward, I still have this name whenever I walk onto camp. The year I entered high school was a very challenging one for me. During that year, the superintendent of Milwaukee County Schools started the Chapter 220 program, which allowed me to go to school in Milwaukee, Washington, which is on the other side of the city. 2.5 hours, 2-hour bus ride every day I had to endure. Kind of cut down on the time I was able to spend at the club. I would wake up at 5:30, leave the house at 6, get to school by 7:30, swallow a quick free breakfast. After school, it was either football, basketball, wrestling, track, cross country, whatever I could get myself into. If a coach would listen to me, I would try to do. I wasn't the best athlete, but I was an athlete that was present. And by the time I got back home after practice, it was probably around 7, 8 o'clock at night, and the club was closed. But I still wanted to be go to camp. I still wanted to be a camper. The full-time staff at Camp Whitcomb Mason, specifically one person specifically, Keith Hensley, his camp name is Worm, has been a part of my life since 1988. He took a special moment from me by explaining to me I should not allow my struggles to create my identity at the age of 10 years old. And I still carry that forward today. Keith called me up during the freshman year, and he asked me how I was going, and I said, I'm doing great. He said, you're lying. I talked to your mom. I know your grades. I know your grades aren't that good, so you're coming back to camp. You're going to work as a kitchen tech and also a CIT, which is a counselor in training. So I did that for the next 3 to 4 years. In my senior year, I was able to walk across the stage of Milwaukee, Washington with my high school diploma, but that was not I was not proud of that moment. I was proud of the moment when Keith and Cliff Clower offered me the opportunity to come back to campus as a counselor, because that meant somebody believed in me. The club's mission of creating a positive place where you could develop your attributes and your values, it was my pinnacle right there. They actually believed in me, and that was one of the best summers of my life. After camp, I was encouraged to join the military because I really didn't study that much in high school, to be honest with you. And I always knew I was going to join the military. All of my uncles were in the military. My grandfather was a 27-year vet that retired. So I followed their suits and I joined the military. Lived in Germany for 5 years and had the opportunity to travel the country, either through leisure or deployments. Take your pick. In 2000, I called Keith back up. I called Cliff Clower back up, and I asked him if I can come back because my contract was up and I wanted to go to college because now I have this college money and I wanted to be a teacher. Because all the camp counselors that I used as my peers and my mentors when I worked at camp, they were all teachers. So that's what I wanted to do. They were doing something positive with their life. I wanted to do the same thing and make a positive impact on children. Cliff said, yep, come on back. We'll put you as a camp counselor and everything will be fine. So I stepped off the plane, I believe it was May 30th, and by June 5th, I was welcoming counselors back to camp. It was another great event in my life because it just transitioned the closing of the military to the opening of continuing my career at camp. For the next 3 or 4 years, I continued to work at camp in the summer as I attended UW La Crosse and went on to State University and graduated with my degree. In 2005, after I graduated, I had the opportunity to deploy to Iraq for 2 years. I took advantage of that opportunity. When I came back in 2007, the National Guard offered me a full-time position, which leads me to where I am today, 7 years later. I still continuing on with the military. This is difficult for me, and I do apologize, because there's so much emotion wrapped up with the club has given me. Aside from the fact of ensuring that I at least had 1 to 2 meals a day, a positive role model, or a safe place where you could just be a kid. It gave me people. And when you grow up in a situation where you don't have positive things or positive people in your life, the club gives you those people that check in with you when you least expect it and just hold you accountable for your actions, and then they continue to push you. As I talked to Keith last month, and he's still pushing me. So it works out. I made a top 10 list of what the club means to me and what the club gave me, what the Boys and Girls Club has done for me. Kind of stole the idea off David Letterman. Let's take that one. Number 10 would be respect. The Boys and Girls Club taught me it's very important to respect others and to respect yourself at the same time. Number 9 would be purpose. The club gave me purpose. Without the Boys and Girls Club, I wouldn't know that I wanted to be a teacher. I wouldn't know that I wanted to follow my grandfather's shoes in the military. Number 8 would be mentors. Those mentors that I still carry with me today, from 1988 to 2014. Lifelong friendships. Laughter. There wasn't a lot of laughing in my house between 1988 and 1994, but when I was at camp or when I was at the Sarah unit, there were moments of laughter. When I would cheat on a game of carpet pool or whatever it may be, there was always laughter and jokes. Safety would be number 5. A place to stay out of the violence. Number 4 would be goals. Number 3 would be awareness. The club was they were tricky. They would give us awareness classes, let's say dental health or physical health or nutrition health. And as a young kid, you really don't think about it. You want an apple, you're hungry, so you'll listen to a class about nutrition for 15 minutes and get your apple and you're good to go. But actually, they kind of stick with you. It's important to eat a well-balanced diet. You should have more vegetables than you do sugar. So the club taught me awareness in that aspect as well. And the club also gave me my family. Keith Hensling introduced me to my wife in the summer of 2000 because he met her at a college campus in La Crosse. So when I came back in 2000, he introduced me to her. Little did she know, or I know she would be my wife. So now the club is giving me my life. Like Ann indicated, I now live in Marshfield with my 2 boys, Lucas and Easton. One's 3, one's 5. And we've been married for 13 years. So I want to thank everybody in the audience, including the Youth of the Year participants, because I've read your stories and I'm inspired by it. But everybody in this room has given a little bit or a lot to the Boys and Girls Club, and that means indirectly you've given to somebody like me or to the Youth of the Year participants. So thank you. The last thing I would like to say is I have traveled the world. I have been to the Middle East, I have been to the Baltics, I have been all over Europe, I have been all over the country, and I've seen many different things. And the one thing I realize is things that our club members are facing, it's a worldwide epidemic. Poverty, single-parent homes, violence, low self-esteem. But the Boys and Girls Club is the single most organization that I can think of, that I have experienced, that is a way to fix that. So thank you for what you do and keep doing it.